Okay, this message is from me, Bongani, ngumZulu phaqa. Okay, and then I was born in Soweto. I'm not like Soweto Zulus. I am of Amazizi ancestry. I'm from the Drakensberg Mountains, where the sources of the Tugela flows to the ocean. I've lived with many nations in South Africa, and then we've gone through a lot as a people in various stages of life, and then I'm going to be speaking about the continued attack of Zulus by people of Limpopo. Bantu base Limpopo, ngicela nisiqeke, please. Siqekeni. Right. Don't reflect your tribalism on us as Zulus. Alright. Don't reflect your own characters on us Zulus. I'm not going to defend our being accused as tribalists whatsoever. First of all, we are a nation as Zulus. How a nation becomes tribalist, I will leave it with you as big-minded people to define. Big mind comes from the same connotations that the Japanese and the white people used to say of blacks in general, ukuthi we are low IQ. So there's a continued ancient defamatory utterance against the Zulu people as Damba. And the funny thing is, it is being said by people of Limpopo today. People of Limpopo being especially the Venda and the Bedi, and also other Shangans. Alright. I've sat with Shangan people asking questions, trying to understand what the hatred is all about, and got very weird answers, especially when I asked about issues to do with why are you people of Limpopo segregating in Gauteng against Zulus. Some of the answers I got from your Shangan people is, it was 2011, yeah. They said to me, they are doing an unofficial affirmative action segregating against Zulus in workplaces, tenders, housing, whatsoever, because Zulus were apartheid beneficiaries and the favorite nation of Bure. I asked them to quantify, to give me facts to that regard. There was none, dololo. Now, we keep on moving throughout the ages with accusations of people of Limpopo against Zulus. We have no history, even, of interactions between Zulus and Pedis and vendors first and foremost, that I could basically look at to try and understand where does this hatred of Zulus by your people comes from. We've got none. Shangan, we've got perhaps something that we can look at. We have this animosity which since started even before Soshangane fled KwaZulu to Mozambique, establishing the Kingdom of Gaza. I'm not very sure in which history are people who divide then also called victims. I'm not very sure again when do people who divide then later get called unifiers. I remember the Zulus being the only ones, or rather trying to unite nations in the system that was being used in those ages, in terms of unification of tiny clans or tiny tribes into the creation of a nation. Shaka Zulu did that. How Banbekos? Angithi, you always accusing Shaka Zulu for what he did to your people. Is it not you who resisted unification into being Zulu? And you are not tribalists. We are tribalists for having tried to unify you with us to become one nation. We are tribalists. We were trying to unify all of us, and you fighting to be separate. Marama tribalist did. Oh, the ANC was our formulation. When we formulated the ANC, we said South African National Natives Congress, to exactly exclude also black foreigners who were just as foreign as white foreigners, who were just as foreign as Indian foreigners. They managed to weave their place into being South African on the basis of the black skin. On what basis? That's not what makes you the South African just because you are black. There are endless vendors who are not South Africans. They are Malawians, they are Zimbabweans. There's endless Shangaan who are not South Africans, but Mozambicans. They're endless. In this thing of the EFF saying, don't fight with our brothers. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with that except the protection and defense of foreigners who are inside the EFF, fighting to bring all their floods of uncles and aunts to our country, and calling for the United States of Africa only in South Africa, which they have never even initiated in their countries of love and unity. Is it we Zulus who have made people of Zimbabwe not to unite? Is it we Zulus who have made Frelimo and Renamo not to unite and be enemies to this day? Is it we Zulus who have made Shangans and vendors to hate each other since time immemorial, up to what happened in Malamlele and Vuani? Is it us? You can't even unite amongst your own selves, and you're calling us what? Who are you, Musa Mathebula? Uyini wena? Uyini Musa Mathebula? Inkinga yenu yokuqala yilokhu ukuthi nale bongo lezini singacaci ukuthi namaZulu namaswazi namashanga qala nje ni clear up leyo confusion so that ningazo confuse, because first and foremost ngathi you are confused as to who you are. Then when you are now clear who you are, then we can start having a conversation. Are you Swazi? Are you Shangan? What is a Mathebula? Maybe you need to ask yourself that first. Because after maybe you have had that conversation with your people and yourself about who you are exactly, because we are confused, you sound confused, then we can have a conversation about this unity that you guys have Because I need to understand, Uguti, when you're segregating Zulus as you controlled Nefsas as the Shangan people, Labo Blade Nzimanda, they are Mozambicans, the Xhosas of Bushbuck region, them, to ensure that Zulus don't get bursaries even though we qualify. Propagating all the lies through certain newspapers and all the nonsense that gets spoken in townships of Johannesburg that Zulus are not educated. Whereas there's no single black nation in South Africa that has ever passed matric better than Zulus for more than 50 years. And this is the argument I've been having forever. Because unfortunately, I don't have avenues to actually put these things forward to the public to understand. Because these idiot Zulus of Soweto, they swallowed and absorbed that lie because they read Soweto newspaper without testing, because they are ignorant. They don't read other newspapers or learn what is also happening outside Soweto. So maybe fail bona be must drop out as Soweto Zulus. They think that all Zulus are like them. No. Zulus have been passing high school forever better than, there's no, which nation has ever passed matric better than Zulus? There's none. Show me one. And then that will lead to the tribalism practices in Gauteng. Why is Gauteng in all parastatal having 80% people who are coming from Limpopo, the most failing province by metric results for many years going past? So how do people who are the most failing become the people with the most jobs? When white people were doing that, we called them racists. So when Limpopo do that, they are what? Victims, and Zulus are tribalists. We are not a tribe. We are a nation. Askale labo. How do you accuse a nation of tribalism, Gashishe? I mean, I don't understand. We, the Zulus, are a nation. We tried to unite South Africans in this ANC project, which was SANNC. That's what I was trying to say earlier, which got hijacked into this globalist entity called ANC. Tina as Zulus were trying to unite black South Africans against the common enemy. Umzabalazo wadayiso. Sellouts. Who were the sellouts? Abo Ramaphosa, the vendor Malawians. Abo Thabo Mbeki, the Xhosa. Abo Mandela. It's basically these nations which were loved by Bure and also by colonialist English, who were always, because we are always getting the jobs. Here is how you look at tribalism also in Gauteng, even before 1994 actually, who were the favorite nations, who was working at government companies in Transvaal, in what is PWV area then, now called Gauteng. Who was working in the government? Did you find Zulus working there? No. Whom did Bure choose? Vendors, Shangan, Bedis, and Xhosas. Funny enough, all those nations today make up the GNU. We, as favorites of whites, why are we not sitting in the GNU? Why is it you who are sitting with whites? Again, by the way, because even before 1994, you were sitting with whites. Who were the apartheid police who were kicking and maiming Zulu, or rather, well, yeah, so it was Zulu speaking predominantly, were torturing and maiming Sowetans and Transvaal Township or PWV Township people? Who were those police? Where were there Zulus there? There were no Zulus. There were Malawians, Shangans, and vendors, and Bedis. You were working for the apartheid government to kick and maim. Whether we say June 16 massacre, you were there shooting. It was not only white people who were shooting. There were black police. The black police were your people. They were shooting us. Anti uyena imali mawukwasho ukuthi ubaba kaRamaphosa beke yi-apartheid. Manje yabona nayo indodana yakhona is 7 times worse. So, and you're accusing us. We okay, let's leave it here.